Next. So let's just get into the main reason that you're here. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys probably fast forward to get to this part, this Jay-Z case. Oh dear God. I got an update that you guys won't believe. So it looks like his attorney filed some pre-documentation to the judge that suggests that he is going to be seeking a dismissal of the case overall due to legal technicalities. All right. So it states, and let me just break this down. So what they're basically trying to say is that this alleged victim who filed, and mind you, I just want to clarify, everything is alleged. No one is accusing anyone of anything. I just want to say that right now because everyone's through their attorneys around, blah blah blah. I'm reporting this news. I'm crediting my sources. TMZ reported this. It's also legal documentations. It's from Meg Kunef, who's a prosecutor, legal prosecutor, and a news reporter. So this isn't anything that I'm just making up off the top of my head. This is some documentation that I am reading that everyone has already placed out. Baller Alert, TMZ, the Jasmine brand, I'm pretty sure the Shade Room done reported on this. So I'm just joining the circuit and discussing this. So let's just get into it. So last week, Judge Torres, the one that's overseeing Jay-Z and Diddy's legal case for this court filing lawsuit that was placed against Jay-Z earlier this month, claiming that he allegedly violated a woman in her teens at the age of 13 after the MTV Music Awards. Okay, these forms were filed and this young woman wanted to remain anonymous. All right. And after her NBC interview that she did with the NBC News, it had a lot of different holes. For one, her father said he didn't remember picking her up from any gas station in New York after her allegedly being assaulted, even though she stated that he did help her after she was allegedly. She stated that she was hanging out with a musician named Benji Madden, and was speaking with him at the event. And he stated, and his representatives stated that he was not at the event, but yet he was on tour, and that information was confirmed, and the receipts were proven on that. And then when they asked how did she get down there, she was supposedly from Rochester, came all the way down to New York, and that is like a 5 to 6 hour drive depending on. And the individual that took her there, they asked who is she, as a second witness, and she stated that the person was no longer here, along with additional inconsistencies in regards to the setup of the MTV Awards at that time. And this is supposedly had occurred September 7th, 2000. All right. So all of these different things coming out, and of course, this big old war between Jay-Z attorney and the plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby. And it's just been a lot going on, a lot of lawsuits. Jay-Z filed a suit for defamation after this NBC News broke. But he had filed under John Doe, no one knew. But all the news, just everything just started falling out. But yeah, so, after all this news broke, Jay-Z is still fighting for his reputation. He put out several statements. And generally in the public, he hasn't really lost much. He still has his partnership with the NFL. He's still moving forward. Beyonce just got finished doing the NFL Netflix performance, which he was of course associated with, working with the NFL. And he's just been steadfasting forward with this entire thing. Now, after the judge decided to move forward with a motion to deny the request to reveal the plaintiff's identity, everyone was at a standstill because they're like, okay, well, they're saying that she can move forward and not reveal her identity. Now, we got to remember that this isn't just a basic suit just with Jay-Z's name. This was a attachment suit where it was actually filed on Diddy, and he has a ton of lawsuits he's currently facing. He's going to be facing trial next year in May. He's locked up behind bars, and we're going to talk about the condition of Diddy, allegedly his alleged condition and everything else is going on, because he just got an additional lawsuit, and they're saying that and this is the same person. Tony Busby is claiming that Diddy is like trying to stay locked away in his cell and avoid being served with any additional suits. So we're going to talk about that later, but let's focus on this here. So the Judge Torres, decided to rule in favor of the plaintiff, which is a disappointment for, Rock Nation, Jay-Z, all of them, right? So today, Megan Kuniff, and she's like a prosecutor, she took to X, and she's always dropping the receipts, baby. She just drops it, and then everybody in the social media blog world has at it, including TMZ. And sometimes I be seeing bloggers, and they be like, I got the exclusive receipt. Now we know you be on Meg Kuniff X page, baby. Go ahead and give the girl her credit, the woman her credit, because she be working real hard on these cases. So shout out to her. But she basically says Shapiro filed a dismissal motion, earlier motion, to strike the amended complaint, different than the dismissal. He says one argument is that if the lawsuit is to be believed, the blank happened outside of NYC. So pretty much what's going on here is that, and I'm going to read it to you, is that Jay-Z's attorney is trying to have his case dismissed based off the case being outside of the statute of limitations, pretty much. And there is a breakdown of all of this, and this could be a legal win for Jay-Z, but it can be tough in a court of public opinion, because if the case is indeed dismissed, because remember, it hasn't hit the judge's table yet, right? This is something that was like a blueprint of what he plans to do to further dismiss this case. And the reason why he's doing that is because he's trying to follow the rules and stuff, because the judge basically told him he was breaking the civil rules and stuff like that, the legal rules in regards to filing documentation, how he filed it, the aggressiveness of refiling the same stuff over and over again, trying to get it dismissed and things of that nature. So he's trying to follow the guidelines now and be a little bit more chillaxed about it. But he's basically saying that the case should automatically just be thrown out, because the plaintiff and Tony Busby, the attorney, filed the suit outside of the statute of limitations. Along with that, seeing that they investigated further, the plaintiff claimed that the incident happened at a mansion, a white mansion with a circular driveway, 20 minutes outside of where she was at the VMAs. Now he's saying that they basically did some investigating, and there was no area in the 20 minute radius that matched what she describes as a White House with a circular driveway. Yet the descriptive place is somewhere out of town, out of state, elsewhere. So technically you can't file it if it under a New York law, unless it actually happened in New York. All right. So let me just read this. It says, "Dear Judge Torres, we write you on behalf of the defendant to pursue to rule of your honor's individual practices of civil cases to inform the court that Mr. Carter seeks to file a motion pursuant to Federal Rules Civil Procedure to dismiss the first amended complaint, the FAC, in addition to the Rule 3 of your honor's rule. On December 19th, Mr. Carter sent a letter to the plaintiffs setting forth a basis for a motion, advising Mr. Carter would file a pre-motion letter if the plaintiff chose to stand on her FAC. So basically, it's basically saying that her facts on the case. That's pretty much what a FAC is. Plaintiff was required but failed to respond to Carter's letter within 5 business days by December 27th. And the reason why he's mentioning this is because that is what the judge scolded him on. He basically was saying that he failed too many aggressive documentations and filings trying to get the case originally dismissed, and it didn't give the anonymous plaintiff enough time to respond. So he want to make sure he's clarifying that, look, judge, I'm filing, and I'm following the required protocols this time. Okay. So the motion continues and it explains, it says, okay, by December 27th, so Mr. Carter interprets plaintiff's silence as confirmation that she will stand on her FAC as pled. Accordingly, Mr. Carter submits a pre-motion letter concerning his anticipated motion to dismiss, which will raise the following arguments. First, plaintiff cannot recover her sole claim under the Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act, also known as GMV law, as a matter of law, because the statute does not have a retroactive effect. Plaintiff asserts a violation of the GMV law for conduct that purportedly occurred in September 2000, but the GMV law was not enacted until December 19th, 2000. So what they're saying is that the law in which this court case was allegedly filed under, this particular law was not inactive, and Protection Act was not active until 3 months after the alleged incident. Now, they're not admitting that Jay-Z is guilty, and no one's, but what they're basically trying to say, even in the worst case scenario, if he was found to be any type of findings that may be linked to that, it technically is outside of the statute of limitations, and also it doesn't fall within the legal aspect of the Protection Act in which it was filed. Okay, because this law was active as of December 19th, 2000, and the plaintiff claims that the incident happened September 2000, which is 3 months apart. Okay. And that's pretty much what it says in documentation. 3 months after the FAC claims the conduct occurred and cannot be applied retroactively to create a cause of action unavailable to the plaintiff in question. So then it also goes through different other different acts and statements in regards to basically the statute of limitation. And pretty much what he's trying to say is that they didn't file it within the deadline in the statute of limitations. And then he highlighted as well, second, even if GMC law had retroactive effect, it does not, he quote, to prevail. Plaintiff must show that the violative conduct was committed within New York City. So they're saying that this particular law was solely for people in New York, right? And technically, right, under New York state laws, if this is filed, the crime had to happen in New York for it to actually have any type of hold in a civil case or even a criminal case. And according to their personal perception and investigation, based off of what she said, she's saying that she drove 20 minutes out from New York to a White House with a circular driveway, and pretty much basically off of reviewing evidence, that house would not be in the state of New York. So that would also technically remove Jay-Z from being accountable or being found liable for anything. And that basically would dismiss the case. And that's what he's trying to request. So let me just read more here. Okay, it says, according to the FAC, plaintiff was driven from Radio City Music Hall, New York City. I'm sorry, you guys, it's so small. Okay, so it said the plaintiff was driven from Radio City Music Hall to a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. A drive that took 20 minutes. This is where the alleged violation took place. I'm paraphrasing. The FAC description of the residence in question, however, combined with public records, confirmed that any such residence to that extent is existent at the time would have been located outside the territorial bounds of New York City. As such, assuming the well-pled factual allegations are true, they are not. They can possibly state a claim for relief. So he's basically saying that he's maintaining Jay-Z, Sean Carter's innocence and saying like he's innocent. Let's just make that clear. My client is innocent. The defendant, he's innocent. But even if he was not, based off of their findings and investigations on her description of where this alleged violation took place, the house in which she's speaking of did not exist in the state of New York, which means that since she went out 20 minutes, that means that it's possible that she was in a neighboring state, which would negate the fact of this entire lawsuit, because in the rule of GMV, okay, which is that rule of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. And that's basically a New York state law in itself. So the third thing that he said is any viable GMV law claim is time-based under New York's Child Victim Act, which presents plaintiff's GMV law claim. The FAC alleged the conduct occurred 20 plus years ago, well outside of CVA's statutes of limitations. Though CVA was amended in 2019 to create a 2-year and 6-month window to revival period. The period expired in August of 2021. The plaintiff seeks to plead around the statute of limitations issue by asserting the claims under GMV and that the CVA revival period preempts GMV law, overlapping and extending one. So what they're basically trying to say is that the third law, okay, which is New York's Child Protection Act, they were also outside of those statute of limitations as well. And even with the extension, this alleged victim did not file the documentations for the lawsuit until way after the deadline, which was in August of 2021. So this is an interesting take, because now with that happening, that leaves you in a certain, it leaves room for a dismissal. And that's what his team is hoping to get for Jay-Z, is a dismissal based off of a technicality of all of the filings being outside of the statute of limitations. Now, it can happen if the judge approve it, and now we just got to sit back and see if the judge decides to sign off based off of those technicalities. However, I also just think if it is dismissed under that, how does that hurt Jay-Z's reputation? Because although there was a lot of holes in the story that was originally reported on NBC when the young woman did the interview, there's a lot of people in the public that's saying like, this guy, he's, this and this, and they're already making up their own conclusions on the story. So if it's released that the judge says, yes, we're going to dismiss the case on the technicality and not because one is technically innocent, even though the lawyer is saying that he's innocent. We're just talking about the court of public opinion and how people view it. I just feel like it's gonna forever tarnish Jay-Z's brand. And I think that it's really a lose-lose situation. And I think the only way that he will be able to salvage his reputation would be taking it to trial to prove his innocence, because everyone isn't as intelligent or as insightful to actually read and understand how law works. And when the blogs and the news picks these stories up, they're just going to flat out and say, you know, he got his case dismissed due to her filing outside of a statute of limitation, right? So that's going to make people have their own opinions, suspicion. And also, I wonder if it is dismissed on this technicality, could this affect his money and his partnerships and stuff like that with the NFL? Because, right, when this first was filed, the commissioner of the NFL said that they heard about it, they seen it, but this was after the NBC interview where it was seen to be dismissed because, you know, the claims from the general public seem to have been dismissive to the woman because of the holes within her story, right? And the NFL said it just doesn't seem to be truth to that merit. You know, it appears that way, right? So the NFL just decided to keep working with him. And the thing is, even with him presenting to be, you know, innocent, of course, I just feel like his whole brand is just going to be forever tarnished, similar, you know, to Diddy, right? Because this is all in the realm of Diddy in all of these suits that's going on. But that's the update I have. And remember, it's not yet actually filed. This is just like a motion for dismissal, like a preview blueprint that he's going to file to the judge. And we're just going to see how Judge Torres reply back to that. And I want to know your thoughts on this information. Like I said before, this has already been released by TMZ. It's been already released by Meg Kunef, the prosecutor. This is just me reading and reporting on what's already been placed out there. Another thing, let's just slide because this is Diddy's case and Jay-Z was thrown into it. So let's just slide over to Diddy himself. So Tony Busby is still working hard, you know, and once again, Meg Kunef dropped these receipts that there was a filing that occurred where he was basically saying that he was attempting to serve Diddy with yet another lawsuit. But that didn't really work out because allegedly Diddy's been trying to avoid him and refusing to leave his cell. And like I said last week, reportedly Diddy has been having a hard time in prison. And, you know, allegedly it was being reported in the news from multiple sources that Diddy had allegedly a breakdown and while in prison last week, and has lost weight allegedly. You know, his beard is graying and he's been basically fasting. So now this new documentation basically is saying that their filing for 2 more alleged victims was delayed due to Diddy trying to avoid. So it says, Dear Judge Caproni, this is a different judge handling this particular case. As you know, our firm represents plaintiff Jane Doe in the above action. We write to request an adjournment of January 10th, 2025 conference. At this time, we have been in negotiations with defendants counsel regarding the service of process scheduling and case management across numerous related actions, and have faced delays caused by defendant Combs refusing to leave his cell to accept service. We believe that we have now reached an agreement in the principle for defendant counsel, but are continuing to work out scheduling details in this and other cases. Moreover, Mr. Busby, who has led who is the lead attorney in these matters, would like to present is unable to attend a January 2025 hearing. If your honor would be so inclined to grant a brief adjournment for February, that would be appreciated for parties. We thank you and the court for your time and attention. So yeah, that is what they recently filed for Diddy. Man, it's just, I don't even know how many lawsuits he got now. I feel like every other day he has a new suit. And it's interesting because as most of the stuff, I guess they're outside of the statute of limitations, so this is why people are doing civil lawsuits. But man, oh man, look, all I can say is I'm just gonna continue to sit back and watch. I'm just waiting for this whole trial to take place because I just feel like it's just like lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, and it's like, can one get, and I'm not no legal expert, let me clarify that now. I'm just a regular chick that reads the news, I got a little BA in the media, but I'm not no legal expert, and I'm just wondering and pondering, will all of these suits affect his trial in May? Could they find him legally responsible for any of these alleged lawsuits if they have physical proof that it happened? Is this stuff going to be taken and presented during his trial? It's so many questions in regards to Diddy and his whole situation, and it's just really, at this point, it's like the song that never ends. It just keeps going on and on and on. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated on that. And look, I'm about to head off here. I want to hear your thoughts about the news and information that I just broke. And I was like, try to get through a few hot topics. I try to make it through this. I'm a little burned out. I'm not gonna lie to you guys because I've been dropping video after video after video after video after video. But I decided to come on here because it's important for me to report this news to you guys and also hear your thoughts and opinion on the information that I'm reporting to you guys. I want to hear what you have to say. And I also want you guys to make sure if you enjoyed the show, make sure you guys hit the sub button, hit the like button, leave a comment, thumbs up, and turn on all notifications because I know a lot of my followers out there. It's so crazy. It is so crazy. And I think I might just do a shout out before I get off of here because I know it's a ton of you guys watching on the podcast and the last episode. I'm going to try to make it routine. Excuse me, while I'm not looking in the cameras because I'm trying to get my stats up. And I want to give a shout out to the viewers that's been out there supporting me. I'm trying to see if I can bring this up before I get off of here. Here we are. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna keep putting out more content. I'm pretty much sure I'm gonna record again tomorrow. Tonight right now it's getting kind of late. It's New Year's Eve coming. We're bringing in 2025. We got about 24 and a half hours left of 2024. And we're rolling into 2025, and I am literally trying to get as much work done as possible to drop to you guys because I'm determined to get this channel to 30K. We are so close, and I thank you guys. And it's crazy because I had checked and I seen that only 830 of you guys had all notifications on. So if you guys are watching this video and you guys are subscribed, please check and see if you have yourself set on all notifications because that is how you guys will get notified when I upload more content and more updates and more news that's out there in the world. And look, I tried to collect as much stuff as possible today. It was a lot going on. I was literally about to record and then this news dropped in regards to this whole Jay-Z case. So I wanted to report some of the information to you guys and hear your thoughts about it. I'm going to be dropping this before the new year. This is probably going to be my last pod of 2020. For 2025, can't wait to see you guys. I don't know. I might drop something tomorrow. It depends on the tea, y'all. It depends on the tea, and it depends on how I feel. But I got like an hour worth of content right now. So yeah, and I'm so determined to getting this up and getting the work going. But I want to hear your thoughts on a lot of the topics that I discussed. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on yet another podcast. It's DJ Jericho Podcast. Find me on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and everywhere else. And y'all like my t-shirt? I got this. Got this Michael Jackson t-shirt. I went on a TikTok shop and bought this bad boy. I didn't even know TikTok had shirts like this. You know, I'm not ashamed. I'm not no bougie chick. I ain't a chick that's gonna be, oh, I'm too good. I ain't gonna. I'll look, if it's cute, I'll rock it. I don't care how much it costs. All right, so I want to give a shout out before I end the show. Giving a shout out to all my listeners in the United States that downloaded my direct audio pod. This is for all you guys out there. Yaba City, California. All my people out in Cali. What's up? What's up? And people in Buffalo, New York. Bemidji, Minnesota. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. St. Louis, Missouri. What's up? Bedford, Virginia. What's up? Dublin, Leicester. That's out of the country. That's in a different country. Frankfurt. Amen Hissy. I see you out there. Stockholm County, and Istanbul. That's in Turkey. Woo! So I got those are all the cities. It's 9 cities, and we have 6 country listed. So shout out to my people out in France. Shout out to my people out in Ireland. Shout out to my people out in Germany. Shout out to the people in Sweden. Shout out to my people listening in Turkey. And shout out to everybody in the United States. I'm about to head off here. Y'all be blessed. You dig? And I'll catch you guys. Listen, and also all my audio pod listeners, I need you guys to help me out. The goal right now, I have an average amount of downloads. I'm trying to triple that. I'm trying to quadruple that. So if you guys know people, try to spread the word of my podcast. I would really appreciate it. Try to share my podcast on your social media. If you guys have a social media, tell your friends, tag. We're really trying to build this year and take things to the next level. And I'm going to take myself to the next level on reporting the news and giving you guys more content. I know I've been inconsistent, but I'm trying to make sure I stay consistent, dropping content as much as possible. And I also only have a limited amount of hours I can record per month on my pod. But yeah, and I went way past that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, please help. And that's the same thing for anybody watching on here. Y'all be blessed. Peace.